All right, guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reasons you should relocate to Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to give them to you right now. So the first reason you should relocate to Charlotte is because of the cost of living. That's right, the Charlotte housing market, even though there's tons of people relocating here every day, calling my team looking for houses, the average price of a home is 11% lower than the national average. So that means your money goes further here in the Charlotte metro area. We look at the average of renting an apartment in Charlotte. An average one bedroom rents for $1,600-ish a month compared to places people are moving from like California and New York, where in New York an average one bedroom rents for $2,500 a month. So money goes further here in Charlotte. Second thing you should know before you relocate here, especially if you're coming from New York, it can get hot in Charlotte. We are in the South, it gets humid here. Our summers last a long time. It can start getting really warm in April and last all the way through October sometimes. We do have 4 seasons most years. We don't get snow very often though. But the summers are humid, averaging in the high 80s with 100% humidity a lot of days. And if you can't stand the heat, Charlotte may not be for you, but just know it's gonna be nice and warm here. Not quite Southern Florida warm, but some days it definitely feels like it. Reason number 3 to relocate to Charlotte, there's a ton of stuff to do for families and kids. Charlotte has a plethora of options to do here. We've got Carowinds Amusement Park, which is a big roller coaster amusement park right on the state line. It's actually, the state line runs through the middle of the park of North and South Carolina. It's technically over the line in Fort Mill on the South Carolina side and like unincorporated Mecklenburg County. It's about 10 minutes from uptown Charlotte. We also have Discovery Place, which is like a really awesome science museum. They have an IMAX theater there as well. You can get a membership there, take the kids up there all the time. They're always changing exhibits and it's an awesome place to go do some learning and have fun at the same time. The NASCAR Hall of Fame is here in uptown Charlotte, which has tons of interactive stuff about the history of the sport. You've got driving simulators the kids can do. They can practice doing pit stops and stuff. That's an awesome spot. Frankie's Fun Park in Huntersville that has like an arcade. They've got a couple amusement rides. They have go-karts, what the kids love. And not to mention there's a ton of parks, and we'll get to that later on. But if you like outdoor stuff, there's not, you won't be lacking in Charlotte. All right, tip number, where are we at? 4. So there's plenty of things to do even if you don't have kids in Charlotte, North Carolina. There is a ton of breweries in Charlotte. I mean, it is like every week they're opening a new brewery. South End in particular, they have breweries on every corner. There's all kinds of stuff. Breweries dedicated just to hoppy beers like Sycamore. You've got breweries dedicated just to like German traditional style beers. One just opened. There's breweries from all over the country that are opening secondary sites here in North Carolina, and Asheville, North Carolina, right up the road is an even bigger beer community. You have Sierra Nevada, New Belgium have their East Coast headquarters and breweries up there. So if you love craft beer, Charlotte is definitely a spot with brewery tours, tap rooms to go to, great food and food trucks at those locations, great adult activities. There's also 2 Topgolfs in Charlotte. Topgolf, of course, is like the golf game you can go play. There's one on either side of 485, one like up near Huntersville and one down near Fort Mill, Pineville area. Which is a great activity to do, and they have a great food, great bar at the Topgolf as well. There's tons of live music that you can check out in Charlotte. Not only do they have concerts in the big arena uptown, the Time Warner Arena, there's also Ovens Auditorium, which is on Independence, and then we have the huge out the PNC Stadium that brings all the national touring groups up near Concord, and then local venues everywhere. There's actually a thing called the Music Factory right outside of uptown Charlotte. There's a comedy club in there, a comedy zone to check out comedy shows. So there's definitely a ton of stuff to do in Charlotte. And the last piece to do, and you might want to take your kids to this, but you don't have to, is the food scene in Charlotte has come up immensely in the last several years. We look at cities like Charleston that have great food, cities like Atlanta. A lot of those restaurateurs are starting to open locations and restaurant concepts here in Charlotte. And we have Optimus Hall Food Hall. There's a ton of awesome food trucks all over Charlotte. Noda has a ton of restaurants. Elizabeth and they have a great scene for restaurants. So if you like to eat, you like to drink beer, Charlotte might be the place for you. All right, number 5, why you might be wanting to relocate to Charlotte. There's a ton of nature. Now this goes for people with kids, people without kids, single people. If you like the outdoors, Charlotte is a haven. If you like to hunt, if you like to fish, if you like to walk in nature, if you like to hike, it's all around and easily accessible. The city itself has 14 parks in the city limits, and that's not counting all the parks in the surrounding communities of Charlotte. There's Crowder's Mountain right down the road, which you can climb up a little mountain, and it has a beautiful view of uptown Charlotte. It's about a 20-minute drive from the dead center of Charlotte, down 85 towards Gastonia. And there's Lake Norman up in the Huntersville-Mooresville area. It's a humongous man-made lake. The Catawba River feeds that. The Catawba River keeps going down south, makes Lake Wiley in the Rock Hill, Fort Mill area. And that's a smaller lake, but still plenty of opportunity for fishing, boating, swimming. In the river itself, on the river between those two lakes, we have the National Whitewater Center, which has tons of trails and hiking and like high rope stuff, and whitewater rafting and kayaking. And fun fact, the water they use for the whitewater rafting and the kayaking is actually like a man-made 2 routes of whitewater. Actually uses treated city water. So it's not like they're pulling the river water into that. It's actually city treated water in the Whitewater Center. Whitewater Center also has a ton of concerts. We were talking about that earlier. They do a ton of music. You can buy an annual pass for the Whitewater Center to go up there, go do all the trails. It's dog friendly. And it's a great place to get into nature. And if you like the mountains or if you like the beach, Charlotte is really a central location hub. You're about an hour and 40 minutes into the mountains. You can actually go skiing at like Sugar Mountain, Beach Mountain. You're about an hour and 40 minutes to the coast, like Wilmington, and further south you've got like Myrtle Beach and all the Grand Strand beaches. Outer Banks are right out there as well. So really, if you love nature, Charlotte is a great place. And Charlotte is called a city of trees. And you'll notice that when you're flying into the airport that it looks like a ton of trees with the skyline of uptown popping up through it. All the neighborhoods have old oak trees on the streets, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful place to live. Reason number 6 you might want to relocate to Charlotte. We have a super strong job market. Now, we have lower than average unemployment in Charlotte. The state of North Carolina added 300,000 new jobs in 2023 and is only looking to do more in 2024. There's a ton of financial industry jobs located in Charlotte. There's a headquarter of Bank of America, Wells Fargo. If you're in the financial industry, you know that Charlotte is like the New York City of the South and a humongous banking town. And also a lot of those jobs are kind of mid-entry level jobs. So there's a ton of young professionals here that are kind of working their way up their career, and with that lower cost of living and awesome things to do outside, Charlotte is really attracting a lot of people. Reason number 7 you might want to know about relocating to Charlotte is if you love professional sports, we have them. They're not the greatest right now, but we do have them. The Panthers, we know are awful. The owner, not a great guy. But Panther games are still a blast to go to, and actually it's a little more fun to go to the the lower league sports here in Charlotte. We have the Checkers, who are a minor league NHL hockey team. They play in the Bojangles Arena, and we also have the Charlotte Knights, which are a 3 or 4A minor league baseball team, and they have a beautiful stadium right in Uptown. It looks at the whole skyline. It is an awesome place to go on a summer night to watch a ball game. They're always doing specials on food, fun drink stuff. You know, you get little souvenirs for being first one in there. It's easy to get to. It's fun to walk to. You can go out and go eat dinner afterwards or before, and it is a picturesque ballpark. It is a fantastic spot. We also have Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord. So if you like NASCAR, it's right there twice a year. And we also have a ton of NASCAR teams that are located in the Charlotte area, Huntersville, Mooresville. It's really kind of the birthplace of NASCAR. Like I mentioned earlier, we have that NASCAR Hall of Fame in Uptown Charlotte as well. So, and we have a professional MLS soccer team here, the Charlotte Football Club. They play in Bank of America Stadium where the Panthers play. So if you like professional sports, Charlotte is not lacking in any way. And the last reason you might want to consider relocating to Charlotte, it's a big city that has a small feel. When you fly into Charlotte, drive into Charlotte, you'll see there's definitely traffic at some times of the day on the interstate. And Charlotte Douglas Airport is like the 5th or 6th busiest airport in the country. It is humongous, and it is American's Airlines hub, and you can get anywhere in the world. There's international flights out of there. And it just feels like a big city when you want it to. Now, if you want to live in a smaller neighborhood, a smaller suburb, it's got tree-lined streets, community feel. There's a few master plan communities around like Ballantyne. And so it really has a mix for however you want to live your life, whatever lifestyle you're looking for. If you want to live in Uptown in a luxury condo, we've got those. If you want to live in like a cool old brownstone in 4th Ward, we've got those, and everything in between. So Charlotte is a fantastic place to live. If you're interested in anything about Charlotte, don't hesitate to call or text me at this number here, and I will be happy to answer any questions you have about moving to the Charlotte area. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. And if you want to know more about Charlotte and the areas, check out this playlist right here.